Welcome back to the Wolf Den Wrestling Podcast, and we got a new person here today. Uh, Happy to welcome Mr. Jake DeMarco.
Thank you so much for having me here. Glad to go ahead and finally join you live. So, thank you for having us on the channel. And what a triumphant weekend it's been. Like we said before the stream started, very happy for Tatum Paxley getting the big win at Halloween Havoc.
Yep.
TNA, their partnership continues to be a positive overall. But as you said, there's just a bit of a habit for TNA to just TNA themselves.
Yep. Unfortunately, today we're talking about the wrong assumption of Bound for Glory being the biggest show that TNA has of the year. Basically, the WrestleMania.
Yes.
No, that is not the case. Like, I really don't understand. Maybe it was intended, like when it was first made. Bound for Glory was like supposed to be the big show, the WrestleMania type of TNA, but unfortunately, uh, for the past few years at least, um, that has not been the case whatsoever.
Yeah, not been a continued like a usual anniversary of sorts, yes, but not that big focal point of the year for TNA. Certainly that kind of fell to the wayside after Hogan exited the company, and they really went hard into the Impact years.
Yeah.
Bound for Glory and a lot of the things that they built themselves on, the six-sided ring and whatnot were changed, and then they got with Global Force and lost their identity quite a bit. So I appreciate them coming back to form a bit, but like you said, Bound for Glory should be their biggest show of the year. And it felt like a celebration, but not the one that they probably could have given us.
Yeah. Yeah, so that I don't know. It's like there's just a lot happening. But really I've only noticed it. I didn't watch during the dark times, as some would say.
The Twitch
Uh
days, yeah.
yeah, the time of Hogan
Oh,
nearly
even
killing
before,
the
yeah.
yeah, nearly killing the company. Uh
I relished and watched from afar at that time. I wasn't
yeah.
following TNA, but I did laugh because they wanted to go head to head with WWE. The Monday Night Wars were back. And
Yeah.
I think the most telling was that WWE was like, never
I've
paid
only just
attention
like
to it.
only like like 4 or 5-ish years ago, something like that. I've actually not even, probably like 3-ish, 2-3 years ago by now. I had only just started like watching other promotions, because before, like when I started watching wrestling, it was just WWE. I
Yeah.
took a long hiatus uh from that until I just completely forgot about it, because
Yeah.
I
Kind
didn't really
of.
have cable. I didn't have a way to watch. But then I once it got around, I like saw some stuff from 2020, 2021. 2022 is when I really started watching like full every week.
Yeah.
And then I started getting into AEW. Then I started recently watching TNA and New
And getting
Japan.
into all of it. Yes. Broadening your horizon sounds
Yes.
familiar. I was a very stoic
Yes.
and dead
So
fast and head fast fan for WWF. I only watched them. I hated WCW. I was waving the WWF flag, and it took me a long time to branch out into the independent scene. So Ring of
yeah.
Honor starting to become a thing was when I started to look elsewhere, check out New Japan, see what's going on. I would watch ECW occasionally, but I wasn't, as much as I enjoyed it, it was just too hard to follow, especially at that age and the availability of it. I couldn't
Yeah.
afford pay-per-views at that age often. If I did, I got the one for WWE, not multiples. ECW, was difficult to follow, and there's been two kind of big periods for wrestling in general, and that was the WWE Network, and then the start of the TKO era, leading into WrestleMania 40, was probably one of the hottest points they've had in decades. So you had a
Yeah.
resurgence that brought back lapsed fans such as yourself, and it's good to see people
Right.
coming back and enjoying wrestling again.
Yeah. So, but let's talk about Bound for Glory
Yes,
and also the actual biggest show of the year, in my eyes, Slammiversary. Um, we're just gonna look at this year to start, because honestly, like it's really like hard when you look at both cards. Um, how you like compare them? Like there was just more effort put into Slammiversary, more storylines, more uh care, more build like towards Slammiversary rather than Bound for Glory. Bound for Glory was kind of thrown together. Like we had
yeah,
we had Steve Macklin versus Frankie Kazarian in a squash, because in my eyes anything less than 10 minutes is a squash. Um
and that
Like,
was a big
why
deal. That was
why
pretty
did we
much all
give
the
the title
kickoff. Yeah,
back to Steve Macklin? What was the point of him losing it?
the hot potatoing there was yeah, not fantastic. And again, as you said, we've had this before. It's like we've seen Macklin repeatedly face Kazarian. It just it wasn't exciting, sadly. And
Right.
it could be, it should be, but that's
I
not what we got.
minded if Kazarian retained and they kept going with Kazarian because, like, I mean, over pushing Kazarian is a bit much, but like that aside, it would have been something. It would have been new. It would have like kind of get the ball rolling for this championship. Now we're giving it back to Macklin, and it's like, why did he lose it in the first place? Why didn't he just
Yeah.
have a good reign?
Why not just let him hold on to the title and seem strong? And I'm okay with short title reigns, and I'm also okay with a
Yeah,
good hot potatoing every now and again if it works in the essence of the story. But you have to go
right.
ahead and get people to care about the title, not just the champion, and that's
Right.
difficult to do. People are into Dominic Mysterio as IC champ, but the IC title still doesn't mean all that much today as it should. It really
Yeah.
should be that penultimate stepping stone. You know, the match before. You're almost at the main event, but you got to get this checked off your list first.
Yeah,
And
for sure.
bucket list be damned. But as you said with TNA, yeah, there was a lot of for Bound for Glory. I feel like there was a lot thrown together on the quicker side because they were coming off the heels of, several joint shows with NXT, including Slammiversary.
Right. Like we had what's it called? Other matches that I was just annoyed with after the international championship match. We had even more of a squash with the woman I dub as the racist, um and Gia Miller, the announcer. I mean,
Yeah. I
I
mean,
guess she can't wrestle, so it's like it has to be a squash. But like, my God, why?
and then
Uh,
getting Alicia Fox involved. I don't even recall her current
uh, uh,
name.
Victoria
Yes,
Crawford.
Crawford. There we go. I could never stand her to begin with, her screeching and non acting. So her being anywhere involved in my wrestling is a negative. And yeah, Tessa's damn good in the ring, but she's got a lot of history that follows her. And
Yeah,
instead of building on her less of her legacy and more on her abilities, they're instead giving her these showcase scenarios to show character when the audience doesn't care. They just want to see either her get her butt kicked or they want to see, some type of action take place, some consequence, some, comeuppance. And instead, she's going against, like you said, the announcer and Gia dragging that big backside out. Girl looks great. She's a ton of fun. She's got a very
yeah.
effervescent and bubbly personality, but it does it like the
I
crowd
feel
didn't
like
care.
she would be
They just
better
didn't
like
give
as
a
a
damn.
manager than a
Yeah, yeah, absolutely.
wrestler.
And then like you said as well, like if you go back for Bound for Glory, Kazarian here again. winning with Nick Namath after we already saw him lose the title, the international title to Macklin earlier in the night, as we mentioned.
Look, I love the Collier Shot Gauntlet and all
As
that.
do I.
Nick Nemeth, I think, would have been fine as a winner. I mean, he probably wouldn't have been my choice, but he would have been fine as a winner because it would have
Yeah.
been something different. But they gave it to Kazarian too, and I'm like, why? Why are we giving Kazarian another Collier Shot Gauntlet match win? Like,
This is something that AEW would do, and that's what upset me because there was
they would
no
have done like 2 years ago. Not now.
exactly. There
Not
was
now.
not now. Yeah, there was no storyline purpose. There was no driving reason. Nothing forcing to have a dual winner, and
Like,
especially that the way the
why couldn't it
match
be like
concludes.
something like if why couldn't it have been like a face and a heel doing like if they want to do the co-winner stuff? That would have been something interesting.
So the face
Like
doesn't want to cash
Cardona
in their
and
trophy, and the heel wants to not schedule a match ahead of time, a la John
right,
Cena. He wants to be the ultimate opportunist, and
right,
they could have made a rule where they have to both agree when they can cash in or something. So that's
right.
the
Like
dichotomy of good and evil in the story. But like you said,
like
one of the bigger
Cardona
names is
and Nemeth
Namath.
would have been a nice like dual winner, but instead
Yeah.
Kazarian, why?
So people were already not excited that Kazarian was back out there. He
Yeah,
ends up, and the problem is too that the way it's done. So you have a co-win to a double pin. So you can see a dual win in a battle royal if both men, Big Show and Rock, they both go over.
yeah,
Obviously, we can talk about Shawn Michaels. He's skinned the cat on more than a few occasions. But if both men go over and they're both eliminated, oh no, what happened? John Cena and Batista, who won? But that's not how this ends. This is a
yeah,
pinfall match. So to have both men simultaneously pin each other, it's even more into the realm of lacking believability.
yeah,
It's really hard to suspend disbelief. Like, okay, you got a dual pin. Those are so rare. It's in this gauntlet match. You had quite a few things that could have really pushed a younger talent, or you can go with a really big established star. Nick Namath, Dolph Ziggler is one of the biggest names they have. Thank you.
yeah,
He managed to go ahead and rejuvenate his name after being kind of the gatekeeper of WWE.
yeah.
He
I
was the
like
one
there
you had to
were
pin.
some nice moments in the Calling Shot Gauntlet PDE's debut. When I thought he had a decent showing.
Yeah,
Cardona
certainly.
doing very well during that match. And I thought maybe he could have won, but no. Uh
No, it was not meant to be, and the crowd wanted him to win. They
yeah.
were ecstatic. They were
Like
excited.
I would understand Nemeth because what's it called later on we'll get to the main event, the result of the main event. Like it would
Yeah,
have worked, but after the Call Your Shot Gauntlet match, we had the Knockouts World Championship match, and Jake, I want to ask why. Why is Kalani Jordan TNA champion
I cannot
still
fathom why they decided to have her retain. I know she was just crown champ, so
against
there was a bit
Indy
of that.
of all people? Indy, like
Indy is
that.
undefeated. The whole story of Indy Hartwell was, hey, you were in the way.
She
Get
was
it?
right there.
You were always in the way, but it was never your time. And now she comes in. She's not been beaten. She has kicked butt the entire way. She's managed to take everybody down, whooping ass. She's been really, really compelling as a character, too, because you see this growth. Her promos have been stellar. Like everything about her has improved substantially from where she was on the main roster of WWE, and she loses. And you're like, it felt like Asuka again when she lost the Rumble win at Mania after having this long undefeated streak, and Charlotte squashes her. Kalani had no purpose retaining this title. Now she's feuding with Jordan Grace, so it feels like again they're
Why?
just moving backwards. Jordan Grace could be the next Knockouts champ. That's not exciting. That's not
No,
what she
no,
set
she
out to
won't
do.
be. We know she
No,
won't.
we know she won't be, but the possibility of that is not exciting for fans. They want to see Jordan excel to do things, and they want to see other people get elevated with this. So Kalani, they're like, oh, we'll give her a chance, but The point of this show, the point of Bound for Glory being their mania, it was a callback, a come home. We just had Showdown, this big invasion. This is supposed to be TNA's night where they recapture all the glory. They take their belts, they take their pride, and now they can stand tall knowing that they came out on top. And instead, this match, the main event, and a few of the other points here really kind of played it up to make them feel like they're still substandard next to NXT, or they're not like second rate, but they're not. They're kind of being held down a little bit because it was like, oh,
Right.
our NXT people have to go over on your big show.
Right. And it's like it's kind of ridiculous. Like I had no reason why. Like it would have been so much better having Indy as because like if Indy can't beat Kalani for the title, who's going to beat her?
Exactly.
Ash is
And
out because for some reason I still don't understand why Ash had to vacate the title. Like it was so
some type
sudden,
of permanent
no explanation. Like
medical issue that she's having that seems to
the
be
fact the thing
chronic.
is
And
yeah, the thing is she's, like, still posting pictures, like, on her socials and everything, like, at this point, I'm starting to think it might be cancer or
right,
something.
I mean, because you don't know it, and she's still working out in some of it and still exercise. So you're like, all right, well, it's not entirely physical, but her having to step away. I mean,
Yeah,
that wasn't a curveball. That was
right,
a shot straight to the gut because
right,
she had worked so hard. But Tommy Dreamer made sure to come out and say it's not a work, it's a real health issue. Because
yeah,
of HIPAA, I can't say anything else, but it is a health issue.
okay. So, yeah, like, I'm starting to think she either has some kind of, like, either long COVID or cancer or, like, something that, at
Yeah,
that point, like, could
something
for life,
sudden.
potentially.
Yeah, because it just turned around. You're like, oh, is it an injury? Okay, it's not an injury, but it's something
It's
health
definitely not
related.
an injury, yeah, it's
Yeah.
health.
And they say that she is fully retired. Like there is no, we'll wait
That
a while
sucks.
and
That
see.
really sucks because she was doing so great in TNA, so much better in WWE,
Yeah.
than in WWE, and I'm like, "Damn."
She
Like,
became a meme because she wanted to be a household name when she took on Ronda Rousey, but everything she uttered that day was the truth. I mean, she said it, I'm not a household name, but I want to be. And she became one with the TNA title. She just got this. She
yeah.
worked so hard to
And,
get
like,
herself
can you
elevated.
imagine the story you could have had with Ash and Kalani? Like, that would've been perfect, but
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
don't know. I really don't know. Like, there's no I honestly looking at, like, the TNA wrestlers, like who do they have that they could actually, like, beat, Kalani if it's not Andy? Like, well, Mara Sade? Like,
I'm kind of at a loss. I mean, you look through right now, and so we forgot to mention too that earlier in the night, the Knockouts tag title was defended by the Inspiration successfully as they took down the Elegance brand, and
right,
Ash even walked them out. So she comes out to introduce her team still,
right.
so that they can lose. And then later in the night, it's like, all right, you're already out of this. Now we don't even get the title back to TNA.
Nope.
I'm looking through here, and you look at the women's roster side of things. Do they build up like someone like Zia Lee? She doesn't feel like a real worthy
The only
competitor to
people that I could see, like, at the moment, believably, uh, beat Kalani for the title are the 2 people that have drama and are garbage pieces of shit, that being the racist and the domestic abuser.
two for two. PWI's number 25 of the year on the men's list, Masha, because she's great at looking believable
Masha's
in
like a good
intergender wrestling.
yeah, Masha's a good wrestler, but, like, the
She
fact that
is.
she screwed herself over, my
Not on the
god.
level of Benoit, obviously, but it has
Well,
that
obviously,
familiarity to it in the sense
yeah,
of like you're such an amazing in-ring competitor, and
and
now
now
it
you
feels
ruined it
just
by
yeah,
being
yeah, exactly. So it's
like,
just I don't know who else they have either. Lee, Kylan King, Killer Kelly,
Mara Sade, like,
Marcetta. Yeah, she's one that they could really go ahead and push, but
I mean,
it's going to take some
Sade,
time.
maybe if they spend the time to like build her up, but right now,
That's almost as bad as wasting money in a lawyer for Andrade at this point. Like, you want to spend $250,000 to get him out, before a year's time is up? That's not happening. Just like I don't feel like they're going to put that much time
well,
into,
I'm sure Andrade
Dakara
will
Jackson.
himself, because Andrade is like loaded himself at
Yes,
this point.
he'll push it, but I doubt any company's going to be
Yeah,
fighting that
that
strongly for
company's not.
him.
Like if she was wrestling, which unfortunately she's not, but Steph Delander, I think, would have been a good name. But
Yeah.
unfortunately, she's on manager duty
Yeah, and when you look
because
through
I don't
everybody
remember.
else, Mila Grace, I'm trying to think, like, Tasha Steeles,
No one really like
there's
Rosemary. Like no
yeah,
one.
Rosemary is, again, she's the Dolph Ziggler of the knockouts. She's that, hey, we have a new person either debuting or returning, whether it be from injury or a different company, and they come in and Rosemary is the person they beat because they know
Yeah,
she's going to make them look amazing most times. And that's maybe Iceman, the personal concierge, could go ahead and take the title from Kalani, because at this point there's no top level, and I hate saying it in that way, but only in terms of like brand and name recognition. There is no big star. So it felt like for the last almost year, they were building their new big star in Indy. So to have her not win at your Mania really just fell ass backwards and was very deflating for people.
right.
The fans
We
didn't
got
want that.
hardcore war 10-person
Yeah.
intergender hardcore war, which I hear was very good.
It was good,
Uh,
but it was just
it
not
was
anything you take serious. That was
right. It was thrown
basically it.
together. I didn't really get the whole system and order for feud.
It was one of like, there was never a
There was like
huge to
no
do with the
story.
two. Yeah, they kept having battles that led to a war that kind of evolved. I mean, so it starts off when Ali beats Matt Cardona and Brian Myers, and
Right.
then Alicia Edwards starts fighting with Tasha Steeles, and then after that, it just became this week after week after month until it became the hardcore war. So, but at
Right.
least it built up naturally. Like, there was escalation, and it got to a crescendo. So
Yeah. And then
it
we
was a fun
got
match.
we got the best match of the night, despite the ending, the weird ending. Like I wasn't like it was weird, but I kind of was like okay with it because it like protected both Leon and Javon. And I thought, oh, they could now add Saquon to the mix because Saquon Sugars is an amazing wrestler from
Yeah.
what I've seen. He should be getting that kind of spotlight. And we've kind of forgotten a little bit about that. Now we got Leon and Javon possibly going for the NXT tag titles after
Yeah.
they
Dark
beat the
State.
Hardys.
They're not terrible. They're not great. They're mid, and that's the unfortunate part. There's
They
no
have they
major
have
development of them.
potential,
They're
I
just,
think. Like
they're just the enforcers walking around with the skull masks. That's their point at this time. So
I think they
hey,
have potential because I
yeah,
do think they do have the talent. Saquon especially is
yeah,
should
Sugars is
be
great.
it should be like a actual like star. Um
So not as it only when I say TNA themselves, it's not Murphy's Law where whatever can go wrong shall. It's not in that, like, they just
yeah,
couldn't avoid it. TNAing yourself is when you have a plan that you have worked on for a very long time. Everything follows as it should, and then you yourself mess it up at the the 99% mark, the
yeah,
one in goal. It's like,
yeah,
1 yard to go. That's TNAing yourself, because we already got the very awkward ending to the call your shot gauntlet. People love the
Mhm.
Money in the Bank idea, but especially the way TNA does it, it's a little different. So Eddie
Yeah.
title, like there's really cool things to this, and it's always great to have those cash in opportunities. Where both
Right.
of the WWE Money in the Bank champions are injured right now or pregnant, so they're on the shelf. Now
Right.
you
Well,
get
Money in the Bank for WWE does technically work for any title.
yeah. I
It's
mean, they
just
could go for anyone, but it's
they usually go for the world title. Yeah.
yes,
Uh,
good point. But so
unless
you
your name
get
is Austin Theory.
and then everybody else that you can't beat is champion. Yeah.
uh,
They
like
gave us multiple matches now this night where the
right.
outcome should have been as easy as pie. 1 + 1 = 2. They thought it equaled 3, and their math didn't add up. We
Yeah.
got the bad call your shot ending. We got
We
Kalani
got
beating undefeated Indy.
and then the last two matches, the Unk Fest, as I
Yeah.
call it, the one final table. Thankfully, it was a retirement match for the Team 3D because
Yes. The Hardys
no
still
more.
putting out work. They took all the bumps. They
Yeah.
all right, so they got put through yeah, but they put themselves through the tables
Yeah.
basically. The Hardys
I'm
did all they
glad
could.
that like Devon, I could see Devon was slightly struggling. I think okay, we need to call it wraps for him.
The
So that
crowd was
thankfully
excited for this too, but they lost a little bit of breath because Javon and Leon have the
Javon
best
and Leon,
match of the
yeah, they were
night.
pissed off,
They get
which
more time because time limit draw. We're gonna give him not sudden death, 5 more minutes. So now we know we got to get it done. There's got to be a winner. Okay, and like you said, Dark State comes out.
yeah,
So the fans were upset even more so that they felt robbed again. And with this match, it did live up to the expectations. Things were
yeah,
tempered. They gave it their all. They
right.
really tried. They really tried, and they delivered for as much as they could. The
And
problem here is
then
that
yeah,
it's nostalgia, and that's
right,
all it's there for. It's not going to be there next month. It's not. The Hardys will be, but how much longer do they have? So they're a
right.
big act. They bring people in, but that's not why they're staying.
And then the main event, the travesty corrected. Mike Santana finally winning the TNA World Championship, as he
Finally,
should have last paper. I like, yeah, there were definitely some bumps, but like it's like the card when you look at the card, it's like not really that crazy when you really
no,
think about it. When you look at Slammiversary, you had Mustafa Ali versus Cedric Alexander. Amazing.
yeah.
That like clears half the Bound for Glory card by itself. Uh
Even
you
the Dark
have
State and Matt Cardona and System 8-man tag match was really good for being short. It was still
yeah.
fun.
You
Indian
had
defeating
like
Tessa was damn good,
Indy.
and that was a
Yeah.
way to put her over. Everybody thought Tessa was going to wipe the floor with her.
Leon Slater versus Moose was great. Leon Slater getting his crowning moment. And
Yeah.
then AJ Styles, basically the top guy of TNA history, like your number one Mount Rushmore guy of TNA showing up. Like, and then you have Trick, Joe Hendry, Mike Santana. You have the depressing ending with Trick retaining, but
Yeah, that was the only.
still,
If
like,
they had Mike Santana be crowned then Slammiversary would have been just about perfect because everything they
yeah.
did up until then was
The
damn
Hardys, the
good, a lot of
Nemeths, the
fun.
Rascals, First Class, even like that was great.
Yeah.
Uh,
Uh, the 4-way with the tag titles, seeing the Hardys win the belts back, like everything
JC
worked
beating
well.
Masha, I don't understand why that happened, but it is what it
I
is.
got
We
it because
got
it was for the
Ash,
winner takes all, so it was supposed to go and bring it forward, and it was all about solidifying JC as not really the most beatable champion ever. So everybody gave her that
but
moniker, and she had to prove. But still, really good match, and I thought it was building towards Indy anyway, since she won the match
right,
before. So I was okay with it then, with JC winning, because I thought this was going to be Indy's crowning achievement.
I guess. But
Yeah,
let's also talk about the attendance of Bound for Glory,
yeah.
where they uh say that it was 7,794. No, I'm sorry. No. First off, the setup that they had in the arena, did not even have close to 7,000. It was like 6,300
Yeah.
some.
6,309, I think, is the official
Yeah,
count, but they go with
right.
7-7. So
Yeah, so it's like that was definitely shady. And then like half the show, you can see like a bunch of seats empty. Like the shot
yeah,
of Mike Santana holding the world title, the seats are empty. What's it called? Even like the beginning, like what's it called? It was just the Call Your Shot Gauntlet. It was empty. Kalani
yeah.
Indy, like there were so many empty seats. It's like
I was
w-
surprised that it looked good because they had it weird. So there was a standing section, I guess, as well, like a general admission, and then they
right,
had the seats, and then the seats went up. But the way it worked in certain areas that they had to block off for the hard cam, it would go ahead and create like that mirage of like it looked like no one was watching at times. So it was unfortunate that like that's how they had to film it, but still it gave it
right.
this air of like, hey, it's kind of empty here.
Well,
They
there were
sounded
some
loud,
seats
but
that like there were people sitting next to it, and then like also there were empty seats. I'm like, what are we doing?
yeah,
What do you mean 7,794? That no. Like the capacity is 6,300 and the official like tickets sold was 6,000.
yeah.
Like and like half your seats are empty. That's like
I mean, maybe
maybe
they
at
comped an
best you
extra
got
1,000.
4K.
You know, yeah. I think, and they're always going to be generous with those numbers. I mean, that's a
Right, of course.
WWE-ism for ages,
Well,
and
like Slammiversary was like there were no empty seats. It was like clear sellout,
yeah.
basically.
I mean, you
It
were
was
right there, and
like the
it wants to happen. So
7,623 number, like that's legit. Like sounds legit because you had AJ Styles, you had a big main event match despite the depressing uh ending. You
yeah,
had Mustafa Ali versus Cedric Alexander, an incredible match on its own. Leon Slater getting his crowning moment. Like it made
absolutely.
sense. Like so, like all the time, Slammiversary has been out drawing Bound for Glory, has had more care and effort, more storylines. Just like not even just this year. Like we look at last
Yeah.
year. Last year, Bound for Glory was in Detroit and the Wayne State Fieldhouse. I've been there. I went to school to Wayne State University.
See, so you
The
know,
yeah, the Fieldhouse is not that big. It's like a
it,
gym.
yeah, it's
It's
tinier than
it's like,
most
okay,
people realize.
3,000, okay, I can see that, but, like and I remember looking through tickets for that show, they were like $40, and I was like,
See,
"Okay," like, a part of me wants to go, but I didn't,
yeah,
but,
Bound for Glory here, I wanted to go in Mass and Lowell, but Lowell's small as well. So them
like,
saying
2024
7,000,
Slammiversary, 4,100, Bound for Glory, 2024, 3,000. Looking at the card, Bound for Glory 2024, you had a three-way Full Metal Mayhem between the Hardys, the System, and ABC. Whereas the main event of Slammiversary was Nick Nemeth, Moose, Josh Alexander, Steve Macklin, Frankie Kazarian, and Joe Hendry.
yeah,
That was insane. Like that
and
was
that
a
was a
crowning moment for Nemeth. That
damn
was
good match.
I was like, what are we doing? It's just like like really last year's Bound for Glory, the big matches was uh Mike Bailey and Vikingo, and uh the domestic abuser versus Jordan Grace,
Yes,
and Nick Nemeth versus George. Uh,
yes, which
like
was good as well. So
yes, but like what's it called? You have Slammiversary, you have ABC versus the System in a very like proper match where ABC wins the titles. You have Rascals versus No Quarter Catch Crew back before they buried Wesley.
yeah,
Uh you have PCO versus AJ Francis was very good too. Uh
it was good. I've never been a big PCO guy myself, Quebecers
yeah,
onwards.
right.
Yeah, I mean he does well, but it
Yeah.
wasn't like you
You
said
had
anything to
Mustafa
tear the
Ali
house down.
versus Mike Bailey, which was incredible. So, like, you already have, like, a big Mike Bailey match. So, like, it just nothing that just I
Yeah,
don't
it
get
just
it. Like,
doesn't get to that point. And with what they're doing, like I felt for a while, like, oh, Joe Hendry's going to be their guy. Now they got Mike Santana. The fans are behind him. I don't know that they're behind him as much as they were Hendry.
right.
But Hendry, people are like, oh, he's just an entrance. I'm like, no, he can cut promos. He could be
Right,
silly.
he
He could
was
sing. He
good,
could
but
dance. He's
now
good.
I think they're behind Santana now
Yeah,
because of the hustle. He's been working a lot, and I think
a
Hendry has
ton,
Hendry
a
has
shit
gotten his
ton.
moment. Santana now needed this moment because he's been working so well in
Yeah.
TNA,
He made himself
and
the pride of TNA by showing work ethic. He said, I'm going to come
right.
out here. You know, Mustafa kind of was that guy for a while. And they, you know, he had Macklin go through, he went through so many different guys. And it was like, oh, now I am the workhorse of TNA.
In
I'm going to
like
show you that I can do it.
2023, you had Slammiversary, you had Trinity, you had Naomi versus Diana, you
Yeah.
had Alex Shelley versus Nick Aldis, which I think is incredible.
Yeah. Damn good match.
Whereas, yeah, like, yeah,
I miss
Bound,
Nick Aldis wrestling as well. So
right, yeah,
I
so
liked him
true.
even with NWA Power and what he was doing
Like,
there.
yeah, like the thing is with Bound for Glory that year, yeah, you had Osprey against Mike Bailey, but that was basically your only thing. Like, yeah, Alex Shelley versus Josh Alexander is always reliable. Uh, and I guess Trinity versus Mickey James was good too, but like it just wasn't really given that level of care. Like
Yeah.
Bound for Glory that year with Osprey and like, oh, what's it called? Osprey was advertised.
Yeah.
They made sure to say like to push
Yeah.
Osprey's gonna be on Bound for Glory. It only did 1,000 people.
Yeah.
Slammiversary did 1,500. Well, the buy rate being 4,400.
As much as
Like,
people enjoy Osprey's, I don't want to say antics, that's the wrong word, but like his wrestling style and
right,
his daredevil esque maneuvers and whatnot, he's got fans. I enjoy him as well, but he doesn't have a lot of like commanding power in the sense of like he's not drawing in tons of viewers. People will enjoy watching him if they're there, but it doesn't seem like they're tuning in to see him specifically. And I'm not sure where that disconnect specifically comes from, but
I think it's mainly because realize like, yeah, Osprey's here, but he's not the kind of person that would sell an entire pay-per-view by himself.
yes.
He's not a CM Punk. He's not who's another good example?
I mean, to sell a whole show at John Cena, obviously,
John
you could,
Cena,
yeah, even an
even
AJ
Cody
is
at this
starting.
point. Cody at
Yeah,
this point, I
Cody.
would say,
I could see
yeah,
AJ being, you know, when he does his retirement angle next
right.
year and is on his way
Sting
out.
during his
Yeah,
retirement, like,
absolutely.
uh,
Sting for, what was it, Revolution or whatever. That whole
Revolution,
show
yeah,
was for him in North
yeah,
Carolina. So
yeah, very good.
damn
But
straight
like,
about it.
and then like 2022, you had 526 attendance, 1,260 for Slammiversary. Bound for Glory, you had 1,840 buy rate. Your main event of 2022 Bound for Glory was Josh Alexander, which was a great name, against Eddie Edwards.
Yeah.
At least like what's it called? Josh Alexander versus Eric Young. That's like more
That's a
believable.
match. Yes.
Yes,
Having Eddie in there, anyway, that was a tough year for them. The biggest thing that they had were about to accomplish was having the Knockouts title featured in the Royal Rumble. Like being able to come out and say, "Oh, look,
right,
I have the Knockouts title." That was the most TNA had gotten as far as
right.
recognition from anybody, especially WWE. So
And let's
knowing what they have now,
and
like
we're
you
just
see the
gonna
evolution. Hopefully, they keep
right.
getting better. But
Yeah, for sure. And we're going to go just back to 2021. Just one more example of why
yeah,
Slammiversary is definitely bigger than Bound for Glory. Slammiversary 2021 had prime AEW Kenny Omega
yes,
during Belt Collector reign. Like And yes, like, he was
Nuts.
facing Sami Callihan in a no DQ match, but that was a proper match. It's still Kenny Omega. Sami
Yeah.
Callihan is not a bad wrestler. He's a great
No.
wrestler.
And
Uh,
Kenny was the belt collector at that
right.
point. He was
Yeah,
having all these
Deanna versus
titles.
Thunder Rosa, like, during that as well. It's like Kenny Omega by himself, actually, and that's another person that could probably sell out an entire pay-per-view by himself. Kenny Omega. Uh,
Probably. I could see it. Yeah.
well, maybe not now, but
No, I bet
before,
you they could still get it done. It would just
right.
take a little bit of work, but
But like prime AEW Kenny Omega, and
yeah.
then Bound for Glory, your main event is what's it called? Pre-heel Christian Cage, aka pre-peak Christian Cage
Yes.
versus Josh Alexander. Like, and then Moose cashed in his call your shot
Because I
thing
forgot
to
Christian had won the title from TNA title from
Kenny.
Kenny. I forgot about
Yeah,
that. Yeah. So it
yeah.
was just like this. It was a cool moment, but
Right, but it's
it
like
never
it's
felt grand. Didn't feel like revolutionary by any means or
yeah,
truly
like
stand out.
you have during Slammiversary, you have excuse me. You had Josh Alexander, Ace Austin, Chris Bay, Petey Williams, Rohit Raju, Trey Miguel, like in an Ultimate X match like that. That sounds like a proper Ultimate
Yeah.
X match. You have Chris Sabin versus Moose, one on one. You have uh like you had like a proper tag team match. And again, Deanna versus Thunder Rosa.
Yeah.
Um
And
you
Thunder's great as
had
well. So, I mean, look how
right,
long they
like
focused on Deanna Purrazzo after they lost Tessa initially, during the whole
Like, what
pandemic time.
regarding Bound for Glory, we had, like, Trey Miguel versus El Phantasmo and Steve Macklin, Heath and Rhino versus Violent by Design.
Yeah.
What's it called?
So,
Good Brothers versus Finjuice, which was kind of a squash, and Bullet Club, which was Chris Bay and Hikuleo. Mickey James versus Diana is great, but, like,
yeah.
I don't see like, at the every year I go back, I see so at least since 2021
Yeah.
and
There's been that
probably more, the Slammiversary is just better than Bound for Glory in every way. It's
continually.
like
Yeah.
I don't understand why people continue, on Twitter, online, everywhere, say Bound for Glory is their biggest show of the year. It's not. It's Slammiversary.
And we said that during the
And
review as well, all those months
yeah,
back. We were like, Slammiversary really is taking the cake here. And,
right.
even the chat agreed back then. They
And
were like, yeah,
that's why, in my eyes, that's why Santana should have won at Slammiversary.
should have been.
Because not to mention it was in New York, in his hometown. Like
Yeah, that should have been his crowning achievement there. They needed to
like
hand it to
the
him.
only thing
And
we got from Santana losing was Amazing Red showing up during a promo package to what's it called, hype up Santana,
yeah,
to motivate
and,
Santana. And it's
and
like that's
and that was
cool,
it.
but you could have probably had Amazing Red and Homicide just go in the ring and
Yeah,
prop up Santana. Like, I
do
don't
something.
do something. Like, it would have been so much better. I really don't understand this. Uh, Dark State won the NXT tag titles back from the Hardys. I guess that was the only reason giving the Hardys the NXT tag titles was just to put it on the resume, be like, oh, they're NXT tag team champions.
Yeah,
So,
yeah. Look at
yeah,
that.
like as if we need more of an excuse to put the Hardys in the Hall of Fame
Yeah.
eventually.
I mean, and great on them because yes, they've put Dark State over. Yes, but they work so well with everyone. I do laugh how Jeff just turns you into a human mattress. He's gonna make you a crash pad with the swanton.
So
He's,
true.
but besides that, I mean, they're still going all the way up to that big ladder, going through. I mean, they both jumped off ladders, and then they did it again. Like they do it all for their fans. I love seeing them rep, the Bray Wyatt tribute with the face paint and the
That
little
was
call
great.
outs in the match. Yeah, it was just it's really sweet and genuine. I mean, I like what TNA is doing for the most part. Like you said, they've got good momentum. The groundswell is there. People are paying attention, and they're not even on TV at this point. And they're selling
Right.
arenas that are bigger than AEW, who are on one of the biggest, cable channels there is still today, and on HBO. So it is showing, yes, the WWE partnership is helping, certainly, but they're also making good decisions. So when you see something that is so baffling as Indy losing, or the double call your shot moments, or it just, you left Bound for Glory not as excited or as fulfilled as you should have been. I wasn't crazy about the future in that moment. I was more feeling like, I was disappointed with this, and that's sad because it's got they have all this momentum, and I just hope they continue to capitalize on it.
Yeah. The Yeah, it's really weird. Pro wrestling is kind of in a very weird spot. TNA on like they do these random things. They like earlier in the year they tried making Rosemary a face, which and had her teaming with what's it called? Laying Lee and Zaya Brookside. And I didn't get it whatsoever. Um,
Yeah,
they're kind of sort of like he still looks good right now because of his talent, but they're kind of jobbing out and burying Cedric Alexander.
just a
Like
bit, just a
yeah,
bit,
like he
and
lost his first major match in TNA with Ali, and then he like proceeded to win a random tag match with Leon Slater, and then
yeah,
he lost the X Division title match against
yep,
Leon
again,
Slater. And it's
it's
like
at Slammiversary. Yep.
and he lost the call. He didn't even get too far in the collar shot gauntlet match. So it's like, what are we doing with
And he's
Cedric?
one that you forget for when Rollins had the heel turn, and he was working with different people like Buddy and whatnot. Cedric was in the heel crew, and you forgot that he was there at all. Cedric was a decade long hire for WWE, and yet I can't think of hardly any memorable or standout moments from him. And that's not his own doing. I mean, he was an incredible wrestler on 205 Live. He always had great cruiserweight matches. They just didn't see him as anything but that. And when they started the Hurt business, it was like too little too late. There wasn't enough time left for any of them to really be pushed or taken seriously. Everybody already had one foot out the door, sadly. So
Uh, yeah. So I don't know. Like maybe the best thing they can do is have Cedric go to AEW, join the Hurt Syndicate. Um, I would be interested for him to stay in TNA and see if they could do something
I would
because I
prefer
think
it. Doing the Hurt Syndicate feels like it's going backwards, been there, done that. And that's
right.
why I have a problem with certain gimmicks. And I know I sound like a hypocrite in some regards, but when people get let go and instead of going ahead and being like, look, I'm going to be new name, new face, new personality, there's shades of the old me, but you can see where I either refined or adapted and made, changes so that it feels like Zack Ryder and Matt Cardona are two different people. He made them different. Sasha Banks and Mercedes Monet is just a name change. She's not the boss, she's the CEO. She's not the bank statement, she's the money maker. Like it was just that's what I have a problem with.
The
That late.
problem I have with the difference between Sasha and Mercedes, I feel like Sasha was like an actual character. Mercedes Monet is just Mercedes Varnado. It's just
Yes.
her.
Yes, it's just
And
her.
and I'm not gonna go too much into Mercedes because I
No.
already did a whole podcast
Yes,
episode.
you did.
Uh
People have to go and check that out. Excellent
yeah,
listen on here. And everybody should be hitting the
it's
like button
just
as well for the Wolfman.
hypocritical. It's just she's being a hypocrite. Like
Absolutely.
before back in WWE, she was so mad when Ronda came in and just waltzed in and took her spot. Um, where she was working and she was
Yeah.
like putting in the effort. Ronda being a big draw, big name, just waltzed in, got big time match. And
But
now she's
the
doing
same thing.
exactly what Ronda, when the shoe's
Yeah,
on the other foot,
it's
she
good for
doesn't care.
her.
It's like,
No,
yeah,
exactly.
it pisses me off. That's the main reason I am sick of Mercedes Moné right now. I'm increasingly hating Mercedes Moné because, like, she's not even helping her case with all these belts that she has
Yeah.
that
The belts are all
now she's
meaningless. They're
finally
worthless.
defending the CMLL women's title on Collision. That should have been happening every week with,
This
like,
should
every
be
title.
exactly, and her having the Owen title in there, and the Ultimate Dragon had 8 prestigious titles as well as the WWE light heavyweight
And it was
title,
one
WWF men, and
lineage. It was combined into one lineage. So it
yes,
was like an
yes,
8-in-1 package. These
exactly,
are like
and
10 separate
one's from
belts.
Poland, one's from Germany, like they're
Yeah.
from all over the world. She's gonna lose to somebody and be like, here's your 10, 12, 14, 32 belts. She's going to beat Statlander, and she's going to beat or win
I
the
don't
inaugural
think she's
women's
gonna
tag
beat
titles.
Statlander because that would be detrimental to the company. And the fact that it's not winner take all also tells me
Yeah,
probably.
I want to think the same, but there's something about it's like betting against the
Like,
Globetrotters. I can't let
people are
myself do
saying,
it.
like, all the stories that she can win every title except the AEW Women's World Title. I'm like, I don't know.
It's kind of
I
ridiculous
think
too.
it would be stupid. It would actually bury Statlander if she loses a third time to Mercedes,
Yeah,
especially after a year. Like, given the progress, like how Statlander is like, oh, I'm not the same woman I was last year. Like, Statlander gotta win. She
yeah.
has to win. Like, if not,
I
then
agree that she has to win here. It is like
I
do or
wouldn't
die
be
in this
surprised if
scenario.
there's some
So
shenanigans also in the tag title tournament where Statlander maybe gets involved, screws Mercedes, or maybe Athena and Mercedes
maybe,
can't coexist after all. Maybe Billy gets involved. So there is a
maybe
possibility that Mercedes loses the first round in the
could
title
be.
tournament
You never know, but
because it
I'm not
does
going to
seem
bet
like
against her yet. Not going to count her
right.
out.
I mean, I think the tag title tournament, the safe pick is Tony and Mina. I
Yeah.
think Tony and Mina probably will win. Uh,
Especially while Tony's
both.
not, the main women's champ right now. It's good to her
Right.
to have some
Even
belt
though
be pushed.
I think it would be so much better to give it to one of the other tag teams like
TJ,
Megan, TJ, Megan, Penelope,
yeah,
Sisters of Sin, especially Sisters of Sin. They need wins.
they need
They
wins
need wins. Like,
badly.
right, like Triangle of Madness is not looking good at all.
No.
Uh
There's a lot of the teams are lacking, so that's why it's hard to give a damn about any in this tournament because you pretty much you feel like you
like
know the outcome. It's not a
right.
foregone conclusion, but you feel like it is, and that's what I was saying with the Hurt Syndicate. It's the same thing as the Hurt business. Mercedes and Sasha, so there isn't a development. What are they doing? They're refusing the job, and that kind of stuff. It's like
Right. I
you see
mean,
it time and
I
time
think
again.
Hurt
So
Syndicate is definitely taking more what's it called? Losses.
yeah,
They're
recently,
protecting Bobby a lot. I'm
yes,
noticing they're heavily protecting Bobby.
yeah.
Which probably is a
It's
good
fine.
idea
He's
because
the
yeah,
biggest star of the three, obviously.
right.
So there is precedence
So
for this. But like I said,
I also imagine we'll probably get Bobby and Ricochet 1-on-1 at Full Gear, even though kind of wanted the feud to be over, but
yeah, we all were ready for them to move on. But
it is what
seems
it
like
is, I
it's never
guess.
ending.
Right.
Granted, I'm still in a high from Tatum Paxley winning. I don't know, but
Right.
I'm genuinely worried though. Like I said, because not only is TNA teeing it up, like you said with AEW, there's a lot of teams that need these wins. We're getting a lot of like
Right.
random pairings now, or these odd fatal 4-way matches, and this will
Right.
be number one contender for this is for 400 grand. This is for
I mean, it
and
seems like the money matches have now been sort of focused towards the Bucks
yeah,
because they're broke.
but rather than do like real development, it's just hey, look, we're gonna keep wrestling for fake money, so I wish they could do a bit more with it. They've been somewhat creative with the entrances and
Right.
whatnot, but we'll
I
see. But
think, yeah, I just think there's a lot. happening. I mean, for that tag title tournament, I would love for biasly because uh probably my favorite women's wrestler in AEW is Julia Hart. Uh, so
See?
I would love for Sky Blue and Julia Hart to get those tag titles, but I I think realistically, reasonably, logically, the 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 team that most deserves it is probably the team that was there from day one, that has always been there. Ty Mello, Anna Jay. It
Yeah.
feels like they should get it. I don't care if they have a short reign. They being the first women's tag team champions after like all this time being the first women's tag like legit women's tag team.
Yeah.
Uh, I don't know.
Tay Mello has always been impressive in the ring, and
Right. And
then she
Anna
just
Jay has
wasn't being
improved
used, and she got pregnant, and now she's back, thankfully. Like you said, Anna Jay has
has
been a
improved
real turnaround.
immensely. Yeah,
Absolutely.
before she was bad, before I could not watch
Yes.
her matches.
She told
When she
Brody Lee
went
then, she's like, I suck, but I want to improve. I need to get better.
right.
Like I want to
When
do
she went
this.
to her going to Stardom was the best thing for her career because
Oh
she
yeah.
came back and she was a completely different person. I was like
Yeah, she was a
amazing.
wrestler when she came back.
Right.
So
Yeah. So
absolutely.
yeah.
I concur. I would like to see them win it because they have been there. You got 6 years of
Yeah.
history with these two going ahead and repping the company and being ambassadors for AEW for all this time. It would be nice to
And
see them
now it's random and
win.
now randomly they kind of showed on Collision this past yesterday actually. Nixon Noel and Miranda Alize.
Yeah,
Just they were just there. I'm
yeah.
like, are
Tegan
they doing a
Knox.
match or are they part of AEW or is this just gonna be like kind of a squash match for
Don't
AJ
know
to
for sure, but yeah, that's
yeah.
kind of the thing too. You see people pop up in several different promotions, and you're like, "Wait, are you officially here? Are you staying just for a cup of coffee and leaving? Like, how does and
Yeah.
AEW isn't too great about making things like that be known. Like, no, this is a
Right.
one-off. They're only here from New Japan. They're only here from Stardom. That kind of thing.
I really thought that there were a bunch of there were like a few teams I feel like could have been in this tournament instead of Alex Windsor and Riho. I mean, I if
Yeah,
Alex Windsor were in a team, I probably would have put her with Jamie Hayter, but
would
because
have
of the
made sense.
feud they're doing with Madness, they're
Hmm.
putting Jamie with Aminata, which is fine. Uh,
It's a good
but
pairing. It still
it
works well.
right. I would have probably preferred the what's it called? The KC two girls, like
Yeah,
the life of the
I think
party
most
as they
fans would
were.
have.
Yeah, I would have preferred Hikaru Shida and Shuri since they've been teaming a bit lately in Japan.
Hmm.
Uh Especially that would be a great way to bring Hikaru Shida back to AEW television.
Yeah.
And we could also feature the IWGP Women's Champion. Um
It would be nice. There's just not. They didn't have a ton of women that I really gave a damn about. Emi Sakura, I didn't
right.
care for.
Right.
Riho, I certainly didn't care for. So having these names be here now
Yeah.
and be,
They could have
worthwhile.
had Nixon Newell and Miranda Alize in there
Hmm.
too. They could have. I don't know. I feel like there was definitely some. We, as much as I hated the team, and I feel like it was not working at all, and probably Taya is better with her husband. Uh, they could have brought the Vendetta. They could have brought Diana and Taya because Diana
Yeah.
Perazzo is still in Guantanamo Bay,
She's
nowhere to be seen.
still there saying that she's ready to go. She comes out on Twitter saying, "Hey, I'm
I don't get
waiting."
it. I don't
I
get it.
look at what about Britt Baker? What about? I mean,
We
there.
we we don't need Britt Baker. We don't need Britt Baker.
I'm just yeah, we may not need her, but at least there are
Like,
there
it's
where there's smoke,
so
there's fire. There's a
unfortunate
lot of
because
names, that are
it's
just
so unfortunate um, regarding, Britt Baker because at the like, before, when the company first started in the early years, she was their top woman easily.
yeah.
She was
Oh
basically AEW Charlotte Flair.
yeah,
Uh
and
And
she had
now,
some bad outings, but she was getting better on the mic. And they would present her as like the company girl. They'd have, like
right,
Britsburg in her hometown, and when they go to
right. But
Pennsylvania and do all this
now,
stuff.
like, like when I now, especially the later years, and unfortunately the awful match with Mercedes, perhaps the worst women's match in all of AEW. Uh,
Yeah,
it like I really reflected and basically like Britt Baker now is like one of the worst women's wrestlers in all of AEW. Like looking at the
yeah.
talent you have, Alex Windsor now you have Anna Jay has proved immensely now has surpassed
It
Britt
speaks to the
Baker.
talent they have available to them now. I mean,
Yeah,
that's
like
that's
Britt
what it
at this
is.
point, Britt Baker doesn't belong in AEW because she's like outclassed by everyone. So
She was always more sports entertainment than professional
yeah.
wrestling. She
And
fit
the thing is,
the
I'm also worried about her in WWE because I feel like she wouldn't last in like main roster, she'd get released instantly.
she might
Uh,
get gobbled up and swallowed. Yeah.
yeah, like if she's in NXT and takes a while there, maybe, but like also the doctor stuff, like the dentist stuff, it's nice, but I don't know, it's not hitting
It seems impractical
anymore.
too, because she is still a practicing dentist. So I don't know how much she
Yeah.
has to do each year to keep that license and stuff going. So she has patients that she sees, and
Yeah.
I don't know. But yeah, like you said, the dentist stuff isn't always going to be the biggest deal, as far as her character. They do make a big focus on it, but there's more to her than that, and that's just, again, like you said, Guantanamo Bay claiming another victim. There's still just several people. Sammy and Ty Mello were there for ages, and now it's Sammy Guevara with the Sons of Texas or whatever, with Dustin Rhodes being out with the double knee replacement
Yeah.
surgeries, and it sucks because he was a pillar. He earned his spot. He's been good in the ring. Like he was consistently developing and getting better and more believable. His matches were
I
good.
To me, I don't like um Sammy as a heel. Because I feel like it's kind of the same way as Charlotte Flair. Because when they be heels, they kind of go backwards and they go back to that default cocky,
Yep.
arrogant like heel, and it's like it's stale. It's
It's
like
by the
not fun.
numbers to the ultimate degree of the word. Like there's no originality baked into it, and it shows. We
Right.
have a podcast coming out soon ourselves about how, people we enjoy better as heels or faces. There's some people
Right.
that just work better in certain scenarios. You get some
Charlotte,
people that
it's
can go
like
either
more
which way, but
natural for people like Charlotte and Sammy Guevara, but it's just it gets annoying. Like it's easily gets people pissed off.
yeah,
Um, this
that's for
latest
sure.
run with Charlotte as a heel was insufferable. Um, I hated
It
it.
was bad.
It
And
was
that's why
really bad. So
it
that's
damaged
in
her and
my eyes.
Tiffany as well. So
Yeah,
Stratton was hurting from that.
right, and also Tiffany, yeah, I think Tiffany is better as a face, or not as a face, as a heel, not
Yeah,
um,
I knew what you meant, but yeah, she
Jade also, like, I was interested in her as a face, but after some time now, it's been almost 3 years, yeah, Jade is better as a heel, so that's why I was excited for the heel turn,
yeah,
um
definitely.
but yeah, like Charlotte and people like Charlotte, Sammy Guevara, never if like anyone whose heel character is just cocky, arrogant, and all that, um, never be heel. Just never be heel ever in your career
Ever.
because
Don't ever be mean again. Don't
you're more interesting. You have more of a character when you're face, as evidently
damn
proved.
straight.
Yeah. Like,
And
look at Jack Perry. Jack Perry, everything has changed with him. Like, Jack Perry should never be a heel again because, then now he's so much more interesting. He's actually watchable, wrestling now
yeah,
because, like, that's just how it is. Like, I would like it worked. The scapegoat stuff was like made sense, but it was
It
just
made
not
sense. It was
he was
poorly
not wrestling
acted.
as well as he should have. He's
No, it
not
wasn't delivered well, and that's why they rushed him back recently into being a face again. Because like, oh, that did work for you, and I don't
right.
feel like the audience was clamoring for Jurassic Express. They pop for the Lizard Boy, but they don't really care much for the Jungle Boy. So
Well,
we'll
that
see
I
what
mean,
comes of it.
until
But
what's it called? Until the song came on, the song comes on, and the crowd's
they're
loving it.
going for the entrance. Yeah, it's
Yeah,
just the bell rings, and then we got some,
but no,
some
I've
problems.
noticed like especially since the reunion, Jack has once again now wrestled so much better than he was wrestling as a heel. It's like, oh my
Yeah,
god, why were you not wrestling like this before? What like another peeve I have. Fun fact about Wolf here. Uh if you sabotage yourself during wrestling, as evident as not just scapegoat Jack Berry, Moxley during the start of the Death Riders, like, bro, I was so mad. Like since like Wrestle Dream until like uh,
yeah,
Beach Break, I'd say. He was like not like Moxley was like in this weird position where he was like wrestling like some like he was trying to be a technical wrestler and he's
yeah.
not a technical wrestler at all, and it's like,
No,
why are you wrestling like
he's
awfully?
trying to
Like this
use
is so
holds and
bad.
submissions, and it didn't translate well. And the
Like
Death Riders should have been done months ago when Hangman took the title. Having them go on as ham fisted as it was, like, oh, we've got to finish this story, and no one tolerated, never even tried to, like, just they couldn't tolerate the defenses of the title from
I
Moxley.
understand they were trying to do like get heat and trying to be
That's
like,
all it was.
oh,
He. They beat down every baby face. They beat through everybody. Nobody had a
right, and they
chance.
I could see, like, the perspective of, oh, they're, like, intentionally being, like, not good
Yeah,
because of what's it called? It would get people more pissed off, like, it would be, like, nuclear hate, but
yeah.
it's not worth it, I promise, like,
No,
the sabotaging yourself to, get heat is never worth it in pro wrestling.
you would hope, but yeah, no. And to get that much heat, that's all they cared about. Oh,
Right.
we're gonna beat
And the
down
thing
everybody.
is,
We're
it
gonna destroy
wasn't even
everybody.
like all the Death Riders. Like if it was like all the Death Riders, like what's it called, not being uh, like showing their full potential, I'd like
Yes,
probably understand it more. But Claudio was still wrestling like top tier.
the exact
Pac
same.
was wrestling. Well, Pac kind of
Got
being
hurt, but
fragile, but
yeah.
yeah, but Pac was still wrestling well. Is like, so it's really just Moxley. Why is it
And
just
he's an
Moxley?
actual unit at this point. Pac is like all muscles now. It's insane.
Right, right. And it's probably for the best that he became a heavyweight because
Yeah. He needed the
clearly,
muscle to protect his frame because he kept
yeah,
getting injured, especially those ankles. But yeah, you're right, because Moxley wrestling this technical, move
Brian
set.
style like
Yeah, but
doesn't
he's
work.
not well kept at executing these things either. So everything
Like
looks
I'd
either
understand it if it
sloppy
was
or
Claudio.
misguided.
Claudio could do that.
Yeah,
Claudio is like, and that's why, in my opinion, Claudio should have been the one to take the world title from Brian.
that's why
Uh,
people were raving about Claudio, wrestling Seth at Mania all those years back. I think it was 37 where he did the
right.
satellite,
Like,
no
Claudio is
hands
so
and
amazing, like, the way they've been, like, presenting the teases and everything, I really thought, like, "Oh, Claudio's gonna turn on Brian," and he did, but I didn't think Moxley was part of that
yeah, you didn't think it'd be their
situation,
whole group and
it was just, like, I thought the story would eventually be Brian and Claudio, but
I was enamored and really captivated by the initial group of the Blackpool Combat Club. I'm like,
right,
oh, this is incredible. I love William Regal as a manager and as a
right.
on air authority figure. I knew he had a lot to teach them. And then you're combining, the gentleman that I really care about as being Brian and Claudio. I was like, hell yeah. I may
Right.
not be the biggest Moxley fan, but I'm like, all right, I like Dean in
They
certain things.
sorta
And
had Eddie, like, hang around and then
yeah, and I thought they were gonna rein in Moxley with this, take him out of the deathmatch stuff and make him more of like a technical wrestler. That's how I originally perceived it because they were all about mat work, ring work, the honor of the fight.
it doesn't work. It does not work.
No, because their story was we're
Mox has to
professional
be a
wrestlers.
deathmatch
Yeah,
wrestler.
we're not sports entertainment. And you had people
Yeah.
saying, you're a wrestler. They try to get Garcia, all that. It didn't work. And now they got him,
I
and it's like,
I
why?
don't so the thing is, I still don't fully understand what exactly we're doing with Blood and Guts, because, um, Garcia is part of Death Riders now, which
Yeah.
is strange in my opinion.
Just for the
Uh,
numbers game, that's the only reason
I
that's
really
happening.
thought because Wrestle Dream when they showed the ending shot when after Brian got his head, like, suffocated,
Yes,
they showed
they played Remco
Darby,
with him.
Orange Cassidy, Daniel Garcia, Hook. I really thought, "Oh, they could present these guys as, like, the future of AEW, the clear, like, new top guys
Yeah,
of AEW." I thought, "Oh, we could get the Death Riders versus Darby, Orange Cassidy, Daniel Garcia, Hook, get Eddie back because they had Gabe hanging
yep,
around. They could have, and Gabe in kayfabe injured Eddie, so they could have
you have
Eddie
Samoa
baby
Joe, and I mean,
right,
you can add people in that realm
yeah.
too. That would work.
And
The
now it's
off,
like now I guess it's Death Riders and Conglomeration probably,
yeah,
and maybe Darby, maybe Gabe. I don't know what they're gonna do with that, but
because it doesn't. Besides, the Death Riders don't feel because they're not on top, even though
right,
they're still a team and they're still menacing and they're still raining down, justice that they perceive to be, vastly correct and justified. They instead they're a faction that no one really respects or gives a shit about. And I don't really feel like there's any other group that's on top right now either. It's not the
right.
ops, it's not the conglomeration, it's not the paradigm, whatever,
Or Paragon,
undisputed. Yeah.
it's not Don Callis' family, even though they have some
No.
titles.
And 50 members. So there is no like top
I mean, I
tier.
guess, like, they could present Don Callis' family to be very dominant, but I do think there does need to be a bit of a shave.
Yeah, and there's too much
Takeshita might
drama
be
and
on his way out.
yeah,
Uh, we
him and
can shave
Okada.
someone like, Davis and, Archer, unfortunately, is not doing anything, especially with Brian Cage out.
No,
Uh, and it seems like Don Callis is talking smack about Brian Cage on Twitter lately, so I don't know.
seems
Brian
like
Cage
it.
might be out. Uh,
Yeah, and Brian Cage and Archer. It's like, all right, if they're not going to face each other, then they have to work together. Those two were destined to do the dance forever. My goodness,
I love Archer. I feel like Archer is so underrated. He's not getting anything
they
like
both are. When they wrestled each other, they didn't wrestle like big men. They
like
wrestled like freaking cruiserweights, doing stuff off the top
right. The
ropes,
thing
and
is,
that's what pissed Tony
the
off and
one
other
of the
people.
weaknesses Tony Khan has had is booking big men. He was like, for some reason, like deathly afraid of
Yeah,
booking any big man well.
he didn't want to have
Um,
squashes really like
right.
repeat. He
Unless
would,
it's
but
Samoa Joe. But
yeah,
like Samoa Joe was the only big man that like got like decent booking.
and that
Um,
came pre-packaged in with his
right.
history. So
Yeah. But like 2024, 2025, like lately, like the beginning of 2025, really,
yeah,
he started booking these like big men better. He like Hobbs is getting booked better. Brian Cage was getting matches against like Kenny Omega, and it's
yep.
like this is so much better. Oh my god.
What we
Uh,
needed that
and I actually
they should be
liked
tag
the
champs
idea
or
of
holding a
like, I
mid card
actually
title.
liked I thought, Cage and Archer would be great as a tag Murder Machines were awesome as a
Yeah,
tag team, but
what
then
they could pull
Cage
off
got
as big
hurt.
men, it was great. They're so agile. It's
Yeah,
incredible.
it's so unfortunate Cage got hurt, and because, like, they could have been tag team champions easily.
Yeah,
Uh,
and
but
I wish in a way that like all right. Cage is
Yeah.
hurt, so let's get Archer out there and give him a singles title run with like the
Right.
TNT belt in or something. Because what did he capture? The FTW title, I think, and that was it. Like
Yeah, like yeah,
same as Cage. Like
and he got the trios or the ROH trios titles, I think,
yeah,
with
which is
Gates of
even less of
Agony,
a consolation prize compared to
which
everything
is
else.
it's fine. Like Gates of Agony and Cage worked, was fine, but I don't know. Uh, well, and then there's also the matter of the big company, WWE,
Mm-hmm.
awful year.
Yeah, it's not been great.
I've at time it sucks I have to say this because I'm gonna say something blasphemous possibly. Uh,
Ooh,
During this year, there have been times where I have wanted to binge 2019 WWE. That
damn!
is
Now
how
you're laying it on thick.
yeah, that's how awful things have been. I'm like, am I crazy? Am I like I feel like I need to watch this back and make sure like this
Like,
isn't
was it that
actually
bad, or am I looking with the opposite of
like
tinted glasses instead
is
of rose?
like in my opinion 2025 genuinely has there's a conversation that this year is like the worst since 2019. Uh
That I do believe. I don't know if it's worse than 2019, but because
yeah,
we still have
at
some
least
good,
since
exciting
2019.
things.
Like
But a lot of times they do stuff, and it's like, oh, we need
like
this new show to be booked, and we got to counterbook AEW. So break the glass
the
in
thing
case of
is
emergency and release
the
AJ
worst
Lee.
thing is 2019 did like one thing I give 2019 over 2025. 2019 didn't have WrestleMania as one of the worst pay-per-views in all of pro wrestling.
That's true as well. And that was
that
what
that was that,
35.
yeah, that was like
Batista, Triple
embarrassing.
H, and I think that was Lesnar
And
and.
yeah, and Seth, I think.
Hmm.
And then the women's main event triple threat. That was a
Yeah,
good match.
it was a
Even though it involved Ronda Rousey, but that was back before Ronda was sabotaging her matches as she confessed to
and her
doing. And
career online.
yeah,
With all
I
this fake
I don't
shit.
know. There's so much stuff that like I don't understand. Like WrestleMania was just so bad.
A lot of that is
Uh,
contingent upon John Cena's heel turn being only thought out enough to be a moment, not a story. So
I
they didn't
blame
know where it
Dwayne.
was going to
I
go.
blame
And
Dwayne. Dwayne
yeah,
screwed things up.
I blame Dwayne to a certain extent, but then you also know, like, they knew well in advance that he was only going to be there at Chamber and he wouldn't be back at all. There wasn't plans for
There's
him to make.
also Travis Scott just not into
Yeah,
it. Like, I
he
feel like
wasn't
like I've
learning
seen
and working
some
well.
say like, oh, they could have maybe had Speed instead of Travis Scott because Speed seems to actually love wrestling
Yeah.
like that.
He's
But
taking some crazy bumps, the spear from Breaker and
and
getting
he's like
thrown on the
getting
table.
training now and all that. It's like I
Yeah,
don't know.
which is
And then there's also the botched heel turn of New Day. Um, and
quite a
And
quite
then
a
this
quite a
whole
big
Andrade
blunders.
situation that oh
Andrade
my
carrying Cross and Scarlett is a big like WTF. Now we have them at home, the Timu version with Aleister Black
well, I
and
don't know
Zelina
if I'd call them
Vega.
the Timu version because Alistair is better than Cross, like just easily.
I mean, but the point is, it's like
Yeah.
maybe not that they're the lesser version, but they are taking
Yeah, they're
another
clearly
character's
they're
story
like,
is
oh, why are we paying Cross and Scarlet if we
recycling.
have Alistair and Zelina? It's like
Exactly. So,
I
and
I
then
get
it
it,
feels
but it's
lazy
like
because now they're using that story for them, and it shows a lack. You hear about AI helping with continuity and coming up with piss poor storylines. I know there's a lot of misinformation with that, but if you look back on this year, there are a ton of negatives, but there's still a good deal of positives. I don't want to sound completely like hyperbolic and negative about everything, but
right.
more
They're
often than
like
not,
SmackDown Tag Team Division was great,
for a
especially
point in time,
bringing
yeah.
in Motor City, the kind of Motor City Machine Guns kind of changed the landscape of
Yes. And
SmackDown Tag
seeing
Team
them
Division.
with, even the TLC match at SummerSlam was fantastic, and everything that they
Fantastic.
built up through it. I'm not
Uh,
crazy about Wyatt Six being champions. I haven't loved the Wyatt Six booking. It's been leaving a lot
I've
to be desired.
liked it. I've been happy with Gacy and Loomis. I think they are. I'm first off, I'm happy that it's Gacy and Loomis as the tag team because I
Yes.
think that is the best pairing. I was worried they were gonna put like Rowan and Gacy or Rowan and Loomis, and I'd be like, there'd be clear. I'd feel like it'd be a lot worse. But
Yeah.
Gacy and Loomis, I think, is the best tag team pairing.
The
Um,
pairing of them is good. I
and I
appreciate
think
that.
I do want Rowan to get more spotlight. I feel like he does deserve some slight like singles push. I would love to see like maybe him, maybe like him facing Ilya in an open challenge.
Right?
Right,
That
it
would be
would be interesting.
fantastic as well.
Yeah,
So they have things that are still working.
right.
But I would say Jey Uso's main event run was a bit of an issue for a lot of fans. I'm thinking about like big
It's
backlashes this year. Seth faking the injury. Wrestlers have worked so hard for decades to make fans trust them and believe them. And Seth's one stupid angle wrecked that because now he gets hurt. People don't know if it's legit or not. Oh, look at that. So many people have been hurt. So Ruka now and dealing with the same thing. She's
yeah,
she's she's why would she go ahead and fake the injury? What is the storyline purpose for that? What would
right.
benefit her a face in the
Like
scenario of
people
having her
did
friend defend and lose the
consider
title?
they might swerve us. They might have Soul instead of Zarya turn
Yeah.
heel. I'm like, well, that would be interesting, but
It would be something, but it
I
just
thought
didn't
maybe like
lend any
instead of
motivations right
if it's
now.
not like necessarily a fake injury, but it's like exaggerated, to like help with the
Could have
storyline
been,
maybe.
but instead it seems like that's
And
not the case.
Austin Theory is just somehow injured, even though like seeing clips, it didn't look like he was injured or anything. It just suddenly he's injured and no words, nothing. It's just she's
Yeah,
gone.
he's
It's
another
like
one. Him and Grayson had no payoff all that time just to have him,
ridiculous.
yeah, vanish.
It's like, and then there's El Grande Americano, which
It was fun at
I
first, but
I
now it's
it
it's
was
it's jumped the
funny at
shark.
first, like for the first like 2 weeks, maybe
Yes,
the first
having
paper.
multiple of them and oh my god! But now that they have the Americanos and you've got three people wearing the costume and you know that it's Kaiser and
Why are we having Ludwig Kaiser, Pete Dunne, and Tyler Bate in this humiliation gimmick? This is a
yeah.
Vince thing. This is what I expect from Vince,
And the
not
fact
from
that
Triple
Americano
H.
is still the speed champion, he'll be, next week challenge. It's like, come
Well,
on, like
Ludwig is trying like his best to make it work. He's like
he is.
actually
He's working
making
hard.
it. He is better than Gable at being an Americano. I will admit that, probably
But it
because
was
he
made for
actually speaks
Gable.
Spanish and actually like
Yes.
able to go to AAA and
Gable had
get
to go and
it
find the
over.
dark arts of lucha libre to learn this. He had to seek out
Right,
Dominic and travel and do all these things to make this happen. So,
right.
and he was such
I
a
feel like
workhorse individual.
Kaiser could be as over as he is now as Americano, even in Mexico, even with
Yeah.
the
He's very
stupid
over in
brain
Mexico.
dead AAA crowd, which pisses
He's
me off.
extremely over. He had people. He's like in Mexico. When I fly in, I have people waiting at the airport for me now. So
Right. But I feel like he could be that over without uh Americano gimmick, the El Grande
you would
Americano. He
hope.
should be like the A plus everything gimmick. Like I thought that was genius. I thought that was good.
Yeah,
Uh But now it's like and Pete Dunne, Tyler Bates serve like no purpose. They should just be going for the tag titles on Raw. Your dead tag team
something.
division.
Yes, and what really was humiliating about them being involved is I initially was like, oh, that's kind of cool. It's everybody that's been feuding or an enemy of Penta's because he beat Tyler Bate, he beat Pete Dunne, took out, it's like, all right,
Like
got Kaiser down. So I'm like, oh, I see them coming back as Americanos but that's not what the story is. They don't give two shits about Penta. It doesn't, now they're
at
just
this point,
uh, El Grande.
I wouldn't even be surprised. I wouldn't care if Pete and Tyler went to AEW because they would probably be treated like better by them because Tony Khan would probably mark out over them.
Possibly.
Um,
And I mean, I know you can't have everybody win. You can't have everybody on TV. There are always going to be people left aside.
but
But
they're
right
not. But
now,
you don't have to make them like a
no.
Vince
I'm happy that they're
stuff.
pushing the women's tag division more because of Alexa and Charlotte holding the belts. The Raw tag titles were abysmal the past few
At this
months.
point, we need to unify the tag titles again
Yes.
because because
They
what's it
don't
called,
have
we
enough
released
teams.
a bunch of teams,
Yeah.
of tag teams, and
I'm
now
tired
we're
of them
like
pairing
not even
people up
trying.
randomly just to go face the tag champs. It's like, oh, it's going to be, Cody and Jey Uso now. We'll have them team up to go face the tag champs.
AJ Styles and Dragon Lee are our tag team champions because
Exactly.
Finn Balor and JD should never be tag team champions ever again. Because
Because AJ Lee, and that's the.
yeah, uh, and then also the awful pay per view of WrestlePalooza, bringing back Piss Lover,
So I've never
and
been a big Lesnar fan. I've been very outspoken about him for a long time. Oh, you don't like it? No, his matches are again
yeah,
very by the numbers, formulaic. It's a bunch of suplexes. It's a few
right.
F5s and
And
a Kimura
then
lock.
we got a repeat of SummerSlam. What was it, 2014 at
Yes.
WrestlePalooza? It's like nobody wanted that. That's like the
Nobody.
and everyone, and it's like a consensus that it's like the worst match of the year, except apparently to a certain miserable old man from New York,
Yeah.
that wants to be a WWE shill, I guess, and say, "Oh, this is fantastic." And we're
It was
gonna
not.
say as something exactly done in AEW is great in WWE, but it's a problem. It's
Yeah, having Seth win the way he did, the ruse, none of it made sense. The whole point of the vision is these guys are the future, but then he puts himself in front of everybody. So okay, you're a heel, that's what
right.
you're gonna do. But now they take him out because of the injury that we
Right.
don't know how to believe it's real. Yeah, they
I
screwed
think the
themselves
problem
multiple
was
times.
Heyman. I think Heyman and Seth did not work at all. It
Yeah,
was
it
like
didn't
either
have that
Seth
wise
had to
man
go
fit.
or Heyman had to go, and I think Seth going is probably for the best. Um,
Probably. I mean,
they
at
can
least
have now they can actually make it about the future. They could have
yes,
Breaker, they could have Reed, they could maybe put in Austin Theory later.
maybe.
They
I
could
wanted to see
put
Ethan
Ethan
Page
Page.
join them as rumored
Yeah,
at
that would
one
be
point.
great.
But here's the thing, these guys should have been tag champs. They never should have lost a single match. They should not have lost any tag matches together. They shouldn't be losing
Instead,
singles.
Reed's been eating some pins. What's it called? They're losing to Roman and
Yeah.
uh
I couldn't beat Roman, but I sent him to the hospital after.
yeah.
And no one's
I
ever done
mean,
that
Reed
before.
got his win in Australia at least. I would have been very pissed off if he did not win that match. Uh
Again, he lost
again,
last time
yeah.
he was in his hometown, so
Right.
home country.
Right. So yeah, it's probably for the best. And I also think the whole bloodline thing where they have Jimmy, Jay, Roman, like it doesn't make sense. It's probably the worst storyline in all of WWE right now. Uh
So they have certain things that work and other things that don't, and I don't know why they're so just
they're just
steadfast on
changing the angle
focusing.
every week. It's
Yeah,
like Jay sometimes acts like a heel, Roman's kind of being Roman, Jimmy is like what is the
well, the
point?
motivations behind Roman are always confusing because he's a face now, and but he acts like a heel. He never had a change of character, of
Right,
heart, of
Roman is just
anything.
Roman. I'm like, okay, whatever, I get that, but why is Jay acting like a heel a bunch? Is he gonna turn heel, which would be awful?
Hmm.
In fact, given the YouTube dislikes, which they say doesn't
Yeah,
affect booking, which I call BS on that, but
yeah, that's some major bullshit. But
yeah, but like
I think it does influence things. But I don't know that him going heel would be the worst thing.
I
I
think it
don't
would
know
be
if it'd be the
awful the way
best.
at this moment, like maybe later, but at this time, like
He would
no, I
probably
don't
just
think
overact with it and make it really, like he's really angry and crazy and that
the
kind of.
my worry is that if we turn Jay heel, we'd get Roman and Jay at Mania. Or even worse, uh Jay and Jimmy,
I
which we
think
do
that's what
not.
they're heading back to is a rematch of Jay and Jimmy. I
I
think
don't want that. I
they
don't
had,
want.
Jay last time was the
That
face
was
and
the
Jimmy was the
worst match of
heel. That's what they're
WrestleMania
going
40.
for.
It was a flop. Why
Out of
would?
out of every, I think they want retribution for having such a stinker. That's one of the things I heard, but I also heard that having them face off is part of the forward narrative with Roman siding with Jay again, and they want Jimmy to be the face this time instead of the
Like,
heel because
I'm
Jimmy turned on Jay
but
last
I'm also
time.
scared they might be like, "Oh, what's it called? But we want so instead they might do, God forbid, they give Jay the title at
Yeah.
Saturday night main event, and then they do Roman and Jay for the world heavyweight title, and
I
that would
mean,
be awful.
one of the things we saw was Roman actually helping Jay win the title over Punk.
Yeah,
Roman hates Punk and the history they've had. I mean,
and
it's not
there's
the
just so much
craziest
going on.
thing.
Drew and Cody is not hitting like how it should be. Like this should have
Yeah.
been how they did Cody and Kevin. It's not.
Well, the
Uh,
reason I think it's not hitting either is because Drew's been gone, he comes back. He's gone, he comes back. So we haven't
yeah,
gotten like a consistent run of his. And
right,
people want to cheer for him, but we've already seen him lose to Cody
right,
already. One at WrestlePalooza. Then two, we get also like the way they handle it, book it, however you want to, put a bow on it. It's been a, it's been difficult because, like I said, Drew is a heel that people enjoy. They want to cheer
right,
for. But the problem was he wasn't going for Cody directly. He was going for Jacob Fatu, and
yeah,
then one of those two would face Cody. But because Jacob got destroyed with a dental procedure,
right, and
he's out
then
for some time, remainder of the year. So fans knew like, oh, we're not getting that match.
yeah,
We're going right
and now we
into
got on SmackDown MFD. Uh,
the Pandas.
I like the face paint, and I think it's a good touch, makes them look more serious, but oh,
The face paint isn't bad. They can even work
we
on it a
need
little
to
bit.
talk about Mr. Mateo, Mr. JC, also known as from a shout out Byron from the Flex Zone podcast, Jeff Slob, uh
Ah,
because he doesn't look good anymore. Like before, he used to like put on bangers. He looked like like decent wrestler,
yeah.
not like a main event talent or anything, but
But an
like a
upper echelon of the field, yeah.
right. But
Now,
now he's just it's like, bro, it's like hard to watch.
every
And
member feels nerfed, and it's because they're connected to Solo. Solo is a,
well, Tama Tonga looks great as
but he's a bona
usual.
fide loser. Solo is. He cannot win a single match to save his life. And anytime he's ever accomplished anything, it has not been at his own doing. Other people did it for him. So
Right.
we know that he's not a leader. He's not a winner. He's not, a
Right.
revolutionary. He's not a visionary.
Tama Tonga
He's
is the
just,
best wrestler in that group because
and he's just,
Hikuleo
yeah, yeah,
does
yeah, 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 yeah,
nothing.
going nuts.
Uh, Hikuleo does nothing. Bachaloa is Bachaloa.
Yeah,
Uh,
it's the biggest like non-factor of a group ever, and then he keeps calling him my MFT, so it's my family tree.
yeah, that's weird.
Yeah, the whole thing
It's
just feels ridiculous.
what's it called? And the fact I don't know, like Jeff is like not doing it. He got what's it called? You can't wrestle chance in the same match as Bachaloa. It's
Terrible.
over. It's over for him.
Uh, and then
And
going against the
apparently, Ray
Wyatts.
Phoenix can team with everyone except his actual tag team partner, aka his
Yes,
brother. Uh,
they're really saving that. I know they're gonna tease that still for time to come.
I don't
Eventually, you'll
know,
see them together, but I feel like they really
but
want to establish both of them as
we
solos
definitely
fully.
we definitely went a bit off topic on a tangent just because we were comparing all the other promotions,
Yeah.
but
But you're absolutely right because
yeah,
TNA, as great
yeah.
as they're doing, like you said, they TNA'd it up. They
They're
work
they're
so
just
hard.
like it's not nothing makes sense. It's all
No,
over the place.
and is
And
where
right
they work so
now for
hard.
this year, if you ask me who is like
Yeah,
Booker of the Year, who is what is promotion of the year, it's AEW. It's
See,
Tony
for me, it
Khan.
would be NXT. I would still side
No,
with NXT
no,
over
no,
AEW,
no.
but I
Oh, NXT has been. Oh,
NXT has its
oh.
problems, but I feel like at least there's been consistency across the board with like if
I
it's going to be shit, it's going to be shit. If it's going to be good, it's going to be good. But there's
Yeah,
been
but I feel like it's more shit lately. Like,
yeah,
especially
well,
like
certainly lately they've had their issues. I feel
I'm
like
gonna be so
AEW.
real for me. Like personally, 2025 is the worst year NXT has had ever.
Wow. See, so I'd love to break that down with you more in the future because we
Right?
don't
It's
often
just
get
it's
the
like
opposite side of
does
this. So it's good to
I don't
see.
know if it's because they kind of like gave up all their like the stars like what's it called
They lost a lot
Julia
of their
and
identity to go ahead and work
right.
with TNA.
Well,
So I can
like
see the issue with
Julia,
NXT.
Stephanie are like gone, and then we had to like push JC Jane, who, in my opinion, was not given the proper push, was not given the proper build up, and that kind of didn't translate well.
I don't
She,
disagree, but I think that was the purpose of it. It was supposed to be like, oh, she'll never win. There's no chance. She's not a threat.
I would have
And
preferred they actually spent time with JC because,
yeah,
like, she definitely deserves it, but like, she kind of went like, in my opinion, ice cold because like she wasn't
yeah.
doing anything for like a year, 2 years, like a year and a half, like since the Chase U stuff
Yeah,
until
I can't argue with that. I mean, she was just the second member of
right, like they
the
were
Fatal
putting more time in
Influence, and
Fallon than in
yes,
Chasey. I'm like, why
Fallon
didn't
was
you do
always the girl. She was the NXT North American champ on the
right?
women's side. She had
So
the
it would have
belts.
made
She
more
had
sense if
the
Fallon
focus.
won the NXT title, or they do what they did with Fallon to JC, and that would have
Yeah.
made sense. But and now
Now, Triple
Lash
H is very
Legend is
focused
not
on
doing
moments.
anything. She's like a
She's
heel,
going
but
for the
also
Evolve title, actually. So that's a
ridiculous.
step backwards. And
She's gonna be fed to the Evolve champion because
yes,
Kendall is actually liked and actually
yeah.
like they're high on her.
Yeah,
But
she's
it's like
not. A lot of people went. Even Natalia went for the Evolve title and didn't walk away
I
successful.
don't get
So
it. And then the men's division non-existent.
WWE still has, or I should say, NXT still has, some storytelling, some consistency, but the main roster is strictly focused on moments at this point. They don't care about long-term
Right,
storytelling. They don't care. They want moments to make the crowd, holy shit, this is awesome. That
right.
was crazy. They want
And
the
then
Rollins
there's also
injury
the matter
ruse.
of main roster. Apparently, you cannot succeed as a black man because Mello, Montez, Angelo, who else? No, literally every black man
Yeah.
I've
NXT
noticed
was
on
the
main roster.
opposite. People
NXT
were
is the
calling it,
opposite.
yeah, it was
It's all
African
black men.
NXT, and then the main roster was
That's
just
why
a
I'm worried
snowstorm.
about Trick going to the main roster. I'm worried about Oba going to the main roster because I'm worried they're going to be buried.
Maybe they just need those larger than life personalities to bring that charisma forward. And because
I
you
don't
look at
know,
some of the
like
people that they have had,
Carmelo Hayes should be
Carmelo's great,
something, but
but still has quite a bit to learn, I feel like. And so does Trek, and so does, but I don't think anyone, I think like people have fared Trick over Carmelo always. So Carmelo was
right.
kind of like second rung, and he never got to the ascended, statue that he needed to hit.
And
So
yeah,
he was viewed
I
as less
don't
than.
know right now because like also the tag team division in NXT also non-existent. There's like nobody. There's like Hank and Tank, OTM, Chase U,
Dark
Darkseid.
State.
That's it.
Yeah. So NXT was known.
The
Everything that they were
culling,
known
which
for, they've
one the
lost.
culling has one bad wrestler, so we don't want to see the culling.
Yeah.
There's also the two jobbers that Wesley would had in his group before
Oh,
Wesley
High
left.
Rise.
High
Yes.
Rise or TNT now, maybe because they go
Whatever you
back
want
to
to call them. But
yeah. It's like okay, so really it's just four teams, legit
yes.
teams. It's like they need tag
NXT
team,
was always known for their tag team division. That was like, tried and true. You always got great tag matches,
right?
and the
It's
women's
like
division ended up
Fraxium
being very
left and it
strong.
fell apart.
So you had kind of a triple threat. You had the NXT title was for a bit away, and then we had the TNA title being taken on our side, so we kind of didn't have that as well. You were kind of like everything. So NXT is known for great tag team wrestling. Now we're not having tag matches. They're known for having really strong women's champions and a really great women's division, and it's still going great over there. But you didn't have the strong champion in JC Jane, so the foundational building blocks for NXT haven't been there for what the fans are used to. And then main roster is focused on moments, like we said. TNA is trying to grow, so they've been more consistent than most. But like you said, they're still TNAing it up. They're still just not
Yeah, like
following through on their
NXT,
stories.
like I don't know. There's also the matter of like we're not pulling the trigger on like over acts. Like Javon is kind of floating around. Maybe he might get the NXT tag titles with
They keep saying he's
Leon.
the future, but him and Leon are the now. They're not the future. They're here. Let
Right.
them win
Like
now. They
I'm
don't need to be
imagining he'll
bigger in
probably
10
get his
years.
crowning moment at like Stand and Deliver, which would make sense, but like and then you also have
But you
like
need to wait all the way to just to have the name of the pay-per-view to be the time. Like it has to be the
yeah,
Mania. I get it, but
I don't know. There's also like what's it called? Jasper Troy being basically another Oba. Like
in
and
the
then
speed,
he's just and now yeah, now he's
tournament,
just kind of floating around. I get it. He's new. He doesn't really have the experience, but like take the chance with Jasper.
at least he's on TV. I mean, yeah,
Right.
we could say that. No, you're not wrong.
I
So
don't know why they're pushing Josh Briggs when and he's not
yeah,
hitting. He's like
that's
his
a
best work
questionable
was
one.
with Inamura, and now he's heel again. He's heel as solo again. It's like nobody cares.
I
He's
don't believe
beating
Briggs a
Javon clean.
heel.
He's beating the people clean. Like nobody wants that.
And there's not a big, strong
He's
men's
beating
division right
Cardona
now
clean. It's
either.
like
We haven't had a line of competitors knocking down the door. We've had to make champions. Oh, we got to do it against Miles. We got to do it against Javon. We got to do it against
yeah,
so and so. They didn't have, in line all these male talent waiting to snatch the title. As where the women's division has a bit more of a fleshed out roster, but it feels like there's a bunch of mid card people in the men's side, but not many headliners or top names. For a while, it was Joe Hendry who wasn't even theirs, and that kind of shows everything that needs to be said about NXT right now. AEW, I feel like they focus on, as where WWE's focused on the moments, AEW is focused on the match. They want to give you the best wrestling card of the night, even if the
yeah,
story doesn't make sense or it doesn't feel logical.
right.
They want that dream match card put together, and a lot of times, like I said, it's at the unfortunate, like the byproduct of it is having a weaker story or things that aren't fully developed. The Death Riders angle going on and on and on because he wanted certain matches to eventually tell the story of the dream match of him and Moxley, and he's had certain things planned, and you can tell Tony has a hard time changing up. He likes to stick to whatever he's got in his purview. So
Yeah. I don't know. It's just and now like we have other talents like Tony is taking time off. Tony D'Angelo is taking time off apparently. Uh what's it called? Stacks is a champion, by the way. Heritage Cup just non-existent apparently now.
yeah,
Uh Luca nowhere in existence. Like and then you don't even take the time of other overacts like Lola and Jada Parker. I'm sorry. I feel like they're decent. They have potential, but they don't take the time to the NXT is not taking the time to build these women up.
no.
Uh and they're just kind of like shoving them to the main event scene where in my opinion they're not ready for it. Like
No. And NXT got
lol
lucky for quite a while with some of the talent they procured, but they didn't put a bunch into Stephanie. People just cheered Stephanie and they cheered her over Julia.
Stephanie was a world-class talent before she
Yeah,
came to WWE. Lola Vice
exactly.
and Jada Parker has like 2 years of experience total.
Yeah,
And like
combined.
she's not that good. Like that's the problem I have. Like I don't
A
like
lot of them are
forced
not advancing. That was the issue with a
right.
lot of like Fatal Influence. And you got some people that have all this indie experience, but other people, most of them are coming from the
Like I'm
developmental
sure Jada
performance
will
center.
be a top star. She will be like over, and she is over, she will be good, but like she could be a competitor for the North American title, but for the main event, she's not at that level. Like we're setting
Yeah.
her up for failure. Lola, which I hate, Lola Vice, like she's she's got potential with the right storyline. She could be good, but like main event or even in NXT, like no. And I'm
Well,
sorry,
without
like
having established challengers, like you said, so now
right.
we got to go to Lola and Jada, and that was my issue with
And
the
I
men's
feel like the
title.
only reason, and like most people like Lola, is because I'm sure there are some people that legit like her and legit are fans of her, but and hey, that's cool. But like, I feel like most of people that like Lola is
Strictly
because they're
because of the
gooners,
booty shaking, yeah,
because they're gooners,
exactly. So they're watching the hips don't lie, doing the
right?
Shakira thing instead of being
Well, and it feels like Jada
on the
too,
pulse.
also because of her looks. Like,
Jada
and then there's
Parker, yeah,
also and there's also Jordan Grace. They're kind of burying Jordan Grace on like she's about to be fed to Kalani. Why?
I thought was gonna be the ultimate juggernaut, just come in and steamroll everybody by
They
how
they
she was.
ruined her presentation with that stupid Def Rebel song.
Yep, her
Uh,
character
and they ruined
with
her
all the
character.
defeats and
They they
lacking
had
self
her
confidence.
beat Mariah. I don't call her Blake Monroe. I don't. To me, I don't like the name. I like.
Really?
I
See, I
know
didn't
it's
mind this name change. This one worked for me.
like I get it and the reasoning behind it. Oh, it's our niece is
Yeah.
like the I mean, I'm not gonna try sounding like misogynistic or anything. I'm like
No, no,
dead
but
ass. I like to me, Blake is a man name. Like I don't get it as a
okay.
female.
So I have a cousin by the same name that's female, so I've always seen it as a girl's name. So maybe that's also
Yeah.
the
Like
trigger of mine
I
built
don't know.
in.
Maybe that's just my brain. I don't get it as a female name, but maybe that's just my experience. But I don't know. To me, I'm gonna mostly call her Mariah May
Yeah.
because
Hey, it
it's just
works. So you
but like she like Jordan won against her in that steel cage match, and Mariah's getting the North American title shot rather than Jordan Grace, and
yeah.
Jordan already lost like uh first defense to
Showdown happens
JC.
and you don't have her wrestling, but she's a
It's like
terrible guest ref. So
yeah, it's like now
she was
Tatum's
bad.
jab, so maybe they can have Tatum versus Jordan, but like
Maybe.
that's a complete gap in
What do we get?
level. It's
Face
like,
versus face. It's hard to do it
and the
that
way
way.
things are going, it feels like the logical like pathway is Tatum versus Izzy and Stand and Deliver.
Yeah, and Izzy doesn't quite seem ready
She's like
either. So
decent as like a big woman, like she's kind of a big woman. I
yeah,
can see that, but like yeah, I don't see her as main event. But to be fair, Tatum, I feel like Tatum as champion is just a testament to how bad the NXT women's division is because it's just like no one, like no star power exists other than like Jordan, and we kind of buried Jordan and
they
Mariah
are
is.
lacking star power. They have a ton of talent, so they still
They
have,
have
I think, one of
talent,
the
they
better
have
divisions.
potential, they
But
just don't have the talent. Doesn't seem like main event worthy, even
yeah,
for.
they're not on the that upper, like I said, the echelon, that level, that top tier.
And
They're
that's
certainly
why I
not
feel
there.
like
But
right now, the state of how things are right now, nobody can be called up from NXT. Like I'm worried that
Jordan Grace is physically ready, but her character
her
needs more
character is
work.
non-existent.
Yeah,
So she would be released in like 6 months.
she's the only one that I think could go. JC,
Like Tony D'Angelo could have been like it could have made sense because he's been there a while and all that, but like and like Ricky has like that star power, but like Rick they need Ricky.
yeah, and everybody knew
Trick,
that Tony D's character as the Mafia Don was not going to translate well to the main roster. NXT fans are really good about suspending, disbelief. They go along with the fantastical and the stories and all that. They really play into it. They know their role. The main
yeah,
roster,
Trick,
people
I
don't
feel
always get
like
into it.
could
So
like theoretically be called up, but like given this how the
yeah,
treatment of Carmelo Hayes is, Like,
It might be
I
what they
don't
need
have
though is someone like Trick to show
I
off a
don't
Carmelo Hayes and
but, like, I feel like that's the best they do is just reunite Trick and Mello, and it's like,
I think
oh,
they can.
that
I
would
think they can reunite them, but them being combined will show their talents, their effort being on the best
right.
foot forward, and I think that will separate them from the pack, and then eventually each other. But they
Yeah,
need
I
some
don't
type
know,
of difference maker to make them a star at this point.
I don't know, I'm just not confident right now,
I mean,
but we definitely went longer than the usual podcast episode probably because, I'm
I talked
I'm
forever.
enjoying the company of a new guest.
Absolutely. Thank you very much for
Thank you
having me
very
here.
much.
I appreciate it greatly. We'll definitely do this again and get you on into somewhere. So you go ahead and
Yes,
join us. We're doing a big community show, so we'd love to
yes.
have you there. The
Awesome.
Wednesday before Thanksgiving, we're doing a huge predictions community event for Survivor
Right.
Series. So we'd love to
That
have you then.
that would be
Join
great.
us. So we'll go
Yeah,
ahead and give you some more details as time passes. But yeah, thank you
right.
very much for having me on
So
today. And I appreciate it greatly. I look
everyone,
forward to doing more in
please,
the future.
uh, would you like to tell the audience your channel?
Yeah, thank you.
I
You can
mean, it
find
is in
me,
the chat, to be
yeah,
honest.
but
Uh,
find me youtube.com/Jake DeMarco. I am at Countdown Ended on Twitter, on Instagram, and on Rumble. You can find us on TikTok. It's Jake.countdownended. So we're everywhere we can be right now.
and as usual, uh, my name is Will Ferris, aka Gus Novell. Uh, I am the owner and the sole owner of the Wolf
Yeah.
Den Wrestling Podcast. And I am happy that Jake here has joined the stream, uh, taking up a lot of his time, I'm sure.
Oh, thank you very much for having me. Honestly, it's been a great time. And like I said, I
Right.
genuinely look forward to doing more. We're always at
Yes.
the channel looking to grow the community and meet new great people. So thank
Right.
you so much for the invite.
Right. Thank you. So we are going to end it here. Thank you all for watching. Like and subscribe to both of us. Uh, and we'll call it here.